Hey, the single plane swing is a natural golf swing, and I'm going to explain today why.
So there's no better feeling knowing that when you wake up in the morning to go play golf, so that you're going to play well. There's no better feeling of hitting good golf shots down the fairway. Years ago, I was frustrated because I lost that. I was confused, I was frustrated, and then I met Mo Norman and learned the single plane swing. And so now I wake up every day and I know I'm going to hit it well, I know I'm going to play well, I know I'm going to have fun. So my mission today is to help as many people as possible wake up every day feeling good that they're going to go out there and play great because of the single plane swing.
Hey, welcome to the channel today. Listen, natural motion, efficiency, I like getting into the weeds on this stuff, nuts and bolts of it, because I want you to understand that there's a reason why we teach everything the way we teach it. And the single plane swing, which you see us demonstrate on this channel and what I demonstrate and what Graves Golf demonstrates, is the most efficient way to hit a ball on the ground with this stick. But I want to explain that further and the reason why it's a natural way to hit a golf ball. Now, what does it mean to be natural, right? I mean, we could debate this probably all day long, but in my estimation, it's as simple as this. If I was going to hit that object on the ground, it's sitting there, not doing anything, and I have a stick, pretend it's not a golf club, and I'm going to hit it. I'm just basically going to put my arm out like this, and notice I'm just putting the club in line with the arm, and I would hit that, right? I would knock it off the tee. If I hit it with my left arm, I would do the same thing. I'd reach out, and I would just knock it off the tee. But I want you to notice that I'm aligning this club with my arms. So here's what I'm not doing. If you said hit that off that tee with this stick and add some speed to it, I wouldn't put my arms down here and try to hit it, right? The natural thing to do is to put the club in line with the arms and then hit that thing off the tee. Now, if you don't believe me, go take your grandkid or your child that doesn't have any golf experience, give them some object and say hit that and see what they do. They'll fiddle around and they'll probably be cross-handed, but they're going to point their arms. They're going to point their arms and their body in the most efficient possible way after a few tries to hit that. Okay, so there's a natural element to plane, which it shouldn't be that confusing because this club is designed on a plane. So if I'm going to hit the club on that, hit the ball with a club on that plane that's designed on that plane, wouldn't it make sense to swing the club on the design of the club? Okay. That's another element of natural. Just putting this out there. But let's put the club down for a minute. Let's talk about body, because now we understand there's an ideal plane to hit that golf ball, but what is the body doing? Well, if I'm going to add velocity to the golf club, I have to have stability, and this arm is higher than this arm. In other words, it's higher on the club, right? So this shoulder will be higher, this hand will be lower. This is a lever. This is also a rotational, your arm rotates and is also a lever because it hinges and unhinges. So now we got to talk about the body. And I know I get into detail, but I'm just backing this up for you a little bit so you understand that everything we teach in the single plane swing and everything that's behind it is really a natural way to move the body. I'm not saying you can do this very well right now because you've probably learned to hit a golf ball from here or some variation of that. I'm trying to simplify it down for you because I want you to swing the club face, this stick, hit the ball squarely on its plane so you can be more consistent. Okay, let's take it one step further. So now I got to deal with a club face, and I have mass, and I have it on the end of a stick, and now I want to produce speed, right? So now I have to talk about how the body works to do this. The most efficient way that the arm can move is just like this. Back and through like this. That's the most efficient way. It's not doing this, it's not rotating on top, it's not underneath, it's in somewhat of a rotation, not way under, and it's making a skipping the rock motion. Why is that? Your hand is a lever. See this lever right here? This is a lever of your hand. Your elbow is a lever. Your shoulder is a lever. So I've got to take my hand, elbow, and shoulder, put it on plane, return it back down like this, like that. And if I can do it non-rotationally, guess what? I don't affect the face. So that's what's happening in the natural motion of the right side. Keep in mind that you would only do that from a tilted position. You wouldn't do it like this because you would basically hit the ball down into the ground. You want to hit in the back end of the golf ball. Okay, the lead arm natural motion, well, it needs to be here because it's going to rotate and square the face. So I have to be in a position to square this face. If I go this way, the face would go down. I've got to make this level so it squares the face. So you can see that here's what my definition of natural is. What's the most efficient way to take this machine, stabilize it, accelerate the arms and hands, and square a club face the most efficient way possible? And that word I use a lot, efficiency. And the reason I use efficiency a lot is because it means I've done the least amount I needed to do. And I'll give you a quick take on that. If I take this club and I set up and I have my hands low and I take the plane of the club up, let's say I take a little steep in the backswing, you cannot hit a golf ball from that plane. This is not the plane that you can hit that golf ball on because the golf ball is at an angle away from your body. So I've got to flatten the plane. So if you take a club back steep, you've got to flatten it at some point. This is why guys on the tour, which are some really good ball strikers out there, they have learned no matter how they initiate their swing and start, they've learned to get the club onto a plane. They all plane a golf club really well. The question I get asked quite often is, why don't you see most single plane swing on tour? Well, you do see a lot of guys that have the elements of what I call really close to single plane. Guys like Steve Stricker and obviously Bryson DeChambeau, and I've seen Sergio lift his hands before he takes it away. So there's a lot of good stuff happening in tour player swings. They plane the golf club. But my question to you is a very simple question. What's the easiest way to plane the club? There's another element to how the body works, and here it is. So now that I've set the club on the plane that I'm going to impact, so the starting plane is the impact plane, I can stabilize my body differently in a more efficient way. I don't have to jump, I don't have to lift my feet, I don't have to spin out. I can stabilize in a much easier fashion where my spine can stay in a much more stable position. If you're having trouble where you're jumping off the ground, so your body's moving up as you're trying to hit something that's on the ground, right? Doesn't make a lot of sense. So again, let's look at this efficiency here. Hitting a ball on the ground with a stick. Line the stick up on its impact plane. Put the body into position to stabilize it. Make sure the hands and arms are correct. And you can now accelerate this club around the body on plane here, on plane here. And that swing right there makes it the most efficient way to get the club back to the ball. One more thing about this. I had a comment the other day where a guy says, nobody can be perfect. Do you know why I really do this and why I teach this and why I've done this for almost 30 years now? Is because I want you to be able to hit golf balls when you're not perfect. If you're efficient and you have the most efficient simple motion, when I'm not playing well and I'm not feeling well, I'm still pretty good. Why? Because I've dumbed it down. I've dumbed the swing down. So now I've made it so easy to take it back on the plane, back and down, that even when I'm not playing that great and not feeling that good, I can still hit the ball pretty well. So again, it's not about being perfect. It's about simplifying, becoming more efficient, and having more fun playing the game and hitting good shots so you can go shoot a better score. Thanks for joining me. Hit the bell icon, thumbs up. See you in the next video.